Good morning, Heidi Foy here with BullFrog Creatives. Happy to bring you the Championship Saturday episode of the CNFR CINCH Morning Show. You guys, so this is new today. I've been struggling with sound, so hopefully the sound is a little bit better. I see we have 6 people on here. Hey, let me know if the sound is okay before we get into our conversation here. We have a very special guest today. Some of you, if you're watching on the BullFrog Creatives platform, you may recognize him. Jim Boy Hash is also the co-host of our show in December called the CNFR Hangover, which is a fan favorite, and it's really a favorite of ours too. So you are currently watching the CNFR CINCH Morning Show. Please stay tuned. We will be right back at you.
Perfection almost looks easy. But it isn't. Here's to those who go the distance.
Oh, hey, it works. Okay. I was nervous because I can't hear my commercials or anything else. So if you're tuning in, Heidi Foy here with BullFrog Creatives. You are watching the CNFR CINCH Morning Show. It is Saturday, and I hope we're not looking as tired as we feel. But when you come to the CNFR and you're on the production side of it, like you're going nonstop since what, June 6th, 7th, for setup and dirt stuff and arena, and then all the things in between. Make sure my phone turned off. So by the time we get to Saturday, we're tired.
Not me.
No, you're not?
I'm ready to go again.
Well, it's because I'm older than you.
I just wish we had Tony in here with us.
I know.
Could you imagine how close we'd have to be if Tony was in
Yeah, it would be tight. We'd have to have our camera out a little bit farther. So Jim Boy is actually, listen, Jim Boy plays a very, very important role. And we've talked a little bit about his role and about his event, but Jim Boy is the stock contractor for the goats, for the goat tying. And clearly I have a vested interest. I was a goat tire, so it's kind of one of my favorite events anyways. Let's talk about that. What goes into bringing the goats that you bring?
Well, hopefully I raised plenty to bring, but that don't generally happen all the time very well. And it's not like, like the horses and bulls, they pretty well know what they're going to bring.
Yeah.
They've been around a few years, but the goats, I don't know until a few weeks right before, possibly. I have a pretty good idea sometimes, but like this year, I got lucky. The goats I brought were mostly, there's about 30 head that came through the sale at Colby one day. And luckily I have a guy up there, Chris Sherman, kind of takes care of me and knows what I want. So he called me and sent me a video and had a pretty good package there. So most of them were out of that package there. Some of them are out of some I raised and maybe another little deal I bought a week or so after that. But anyhow, that's what I brought this year. So
these goats are fresh, right?
Yeah, they were fresh. We used them. We pretty much started them in our state high school finals, Kansas State high school finals.
So they got the bad habits out.
Well,
yeah.
They were getting prepared for nationals. We just kind of broke them in there. Not the generally way I generally do. Some of them still kind of tried. They were kind of hit and miss, but me and Jessica, my wife, tied them again, put a tie on them. Just a few days before we came to kind of work on them some more. So anyhow, and then we get up here, and of course, break-in day is Friday morning last week, and we tie each goat 3 times, and then the girls get a horseback, and this is something that you don't generally see anywhere else, and they go ahead and run at them each 3 times just to kind of see how they're going to, sure enough, move on the rope. make sure they're going left away from the horse. So they.
Well, and I will add that even with the prep and the tying and all of that, like it's still an animal and can go right, could cut in front of your horse, could do something completely different. So I think that I like that there's an opportunity to teach them what we would like them to do.
Yeah.
But there's still a level of uncertainty there.
And a lot of it is where you station them. You know, I hear of some high school rodeos where people station them on the wrong side.
Yep.
So that the goat is running in front of your horse. That's one of my big deals. I don't want them going in front of the kids' horses. It's just,
well, yeah, I mean, for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
If a horse gets tangled up in that rope, I mean, it could be scary.
I don't want to hurt the horse, the goat, or the kid.
Yeah.
So that's my big deal. I wish they would. I wish I could get them to hang a little better. They swing pretty good. But.
So what do you mean by that?
Well, just hang straight.
Gotcha.
Because when they do swing and them girls get there and then when them girls straddle the rope and they swing around their leg, it costs them a little bit of time. And some girls can handle it and some girls don't handle it as well. They have, that's how a lot of goats handle these days. But, like that first go round when Caitlin, that goat he just was there. And
yeah.
So she didn't have to worry about it. And so.
Well, so let's talk about that. I actually had a really good conversation with a gal, and I kind of talked to you about it, and I've kind of talked also to Stacy Martin about it a little bit, but there is some question. I even got this comment when I was tying. My mom was a goat tyer when she was in high school, and she, you always get this comment, oh, the goats we tied it, when I was doing it, the goats we tied in my day. Let's talk about that. I know how Stacy feels about it, and I'm really interested because I think it's interesting to hear different people's perspective. If you have a goat or you bring a set of goats that are not, I guess, if they don't know what they're doing, they're a little more feisty on the end of the rope versus a goat that just kind of knows what's going on, maybe doesn't try a whole lot, and allows the girls to be fast. What's the difference? I mean, why are we seeing this level or this pin of goats versus, the goat we tied in my day?
Well, first off, the rule book, the NRA rule book, they have to weigh 40 to 50 pounds.
Okay.
So there's a 10-pound window there. And believe it or not, that's even for a goat, that's a pretty tight window. So these goats will weigh, they're 40 to 45 pounds. They are lighter goats, a lot of them. But when I get here, I sort them into 3 different stalls down at the fairgrounds. And I have a feed them up pen, a maintain them, and a hold them back pen.
Gotcha.
Just like last night, there was a goat out last night, Friday night, who's been in the hold them back pen. I moved him to the medium pen last night. He was starting to get a little weak. So I study him. Believe it or not, I'll stand there and look at him for a while each day and to see if I need to move one to one pen or the other. I could bring some bigger goats. I do have bigger ones at home that are older that have hauled more, but then there's going to be more tricks.
Right.
They're going to suck legs or squat more or whatever. So a fresher goat, there's going to be a lot less tricks.
Because they just don't know what's coming yet.
Yeah. It's hard to I next year I'm going to try to have them a little bigger, a little bigger and stronger. And
like you said too, I mean, if you're, because of the nature of the stock that you're bringing and you're 3 weeks out, you're still trying to get the weight, maybe you're getting weight on or you're getting weight off, like that doesn't leave much room for play.
Yeah. But like I have probably 160 head of tieable goats right now. That I picked 30 out of.
That's a lot of lawnmowers.
So it wasn't like I just went to sell barn and bought 30 head to bring up here. Like I have 160 head, which we'll do the Little Britches finals here in a few weeks, and then we'll take about 120 head down there for that. But yeah, these 30, like I say, we pick and choose, and some of them come out of a different deal. But I don't know. It's interesting. Never know.
Yeah.
Everybody's complimented this set so much. Best set I've ever seen. I'm like, well, I need to really set the bar pretty low again next year so I can work my way back up, I guess.
Just do a little bit better. Well, listen, so as I think about it and having this conversation, while I do understand wanting the cream to rise to the top, if you put a little bit more of an obstacle goat out there, then it's a little bit more of a competition, and you see them really using their skills. And I also see the other side. It's not like we throw trick steers in to set the team ropers up and see how cowboy they are. So I can certainly see why we bring the goats that we bring here and why we want this even pin. And clearly, as a contestant, I want a good even pin. I want an opportunity. I mean, it's been a while, but I remember, you don't forget what it's like to come out of that tunnel. You want an opportunity to be the fastest that you can be at this level. And especially, I will add, especially in this event, we talked about it yesterday. I think we've talked about it a lot. Sorry, I'm a goat tire. So, but at this level, everybody's talent is super, super equal. And so if you can give them each one the same and best opportunity, that's when you see the cream rise.
This is the pinnacle of goat tying.
Yes.
And let's just see who can handle the pressure, who can be smooth. And that's the trick for them girls. You just got to be smooth. Slow down, be smooth. After the first go round, you can see a lot of them just start trying too hard.
Yep.
And that's when you start seeing mistakes. One of the coaches did ask me the other day, they was talking about the times last year were so much slower. And I don't know that y'all have discussed this yet. And a lot of people hasn't thought about this or remember the ground, how bad the ground was last year. And I knew y'all talked about adding the sand the other day.
Yep.
That ground last year caused a lot of problems for them girls last year. I had never seen so many girls fall and hit and roll. And it was treacherous last year. Like they'd hit and just come straight up. And
we did talk like, who was it? Ben said it was a little fluffier, which is an awkward word for soil, but if you're stepping off going that fast and it can be like stepping on a concrete. It's hard.
But it's the most competitive, in my opinion. A lot of people say it's the most athletic. It's a very competitive event here.
And it's super interesting also to see the technique difference. We were talking about this. Well, Jill from Jill Sound, she's our sound gal. We were talking about that difference between then and now, than when we were contestants. But there's just a little change in technique. I know when I was tying, there were a wide variety of styles of getting off. There were still a lot of people that were stepping off, some stopping, some are hanging on the side, which I feel like there's more of that hanging than there used to be. I mean, hanging still gives me nightmares. Like you have to get away. And maybe it was just the horses that, like the Hayes horse that I rode, he wasn't a big fan of hanging. Like I had to get away or he would start bucking. So it just depends on that style. But I feel like also the style now to hang a little bit longer, and there's not a whole lot of slowing down. Like these ladies literally are getting off at top speed.
Jessica crashed at a college rodeo, my wife, several years ago there at Hayes, and it was hard ground. And Doc Gardner, our advisor, our coach at Panhandle, this is how he talked. He says, I've seen bulldoggers ride by. Might not hurt for a goat tire to ride by occasionally.
Which you won't see. Like,
no.
Goat tires aren't going to ride by. They're just going to get off, tuck and roll. One of the very first things you learn as a goat tire is to tuck and roll, because if you don't, it hurts. It hurts to tuck and roll also.
It's good watching a good scorpion on.
I never did learn the tuck and roll, unfortunately.
But no, it's we could bring it. This shouldn't be like a Cheyenne old style steer wrestling.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be eliminators. It shouldn't, I guess I could bring a different pins. We could do like the NFR.
And like stock contractors, pin, like the rough stock.
maybe
I don't know that we have those pins like we talk about at the NFR, but
I could do it.
So here's the difference though. At the NFR, everyone goes every night.
Yeah.
So so it wouldn't be possible unless you had like Monday be the eliminator pin, which that would stink, because then everybody's first go would be, that would stink. But that would be the difference. At the NFR, everyone goes on that eliminator pin. Everyone goes on the TV pin.
I do that at some of our high school rodeos, I'll have a poison pen weekend or a day, you know, because
That's a terrible
I'll
name.
give the girls a really good set one day and the
Make them try
tricky ones the next day, the stronger ones that are going to try. That I keep notes on every run. I have folders of notes. I mean,
that's when you know that you're at the CNFR because goat tying is very serious here.
And like the high school finals that we'll go to here in a few weeks at Gillette, in my opinion, they need to use a smaller herd. In my opinion, they use too many. It would be a better contest for them girls if they used fewer. There's no reason you can't. You can tie a goat more. You can use a goat more than they do there. And the girl.
So how many
I'm pretty
contestants are we
sure-
talking about at the high school finals?
Oh, I don't know how many they'll have in the goat tying. 150 girls, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
And then how many
200.
goats will they have?
Probably that many, or half. I think a goat goes twice in a go round
Okay.
there. So they get tied like a Monday and then not again until Wednesday, maybe, or something. But I'm not sure. I haven't studied it.
So it leaves them. I mean, it leaves them a little fresher.
Yeah,
they're
but
not getting
there's
tied
no
so
reason
much.
you can't tie a goat 3 times every day. I mean, 3 runs in a day isn't gonna. And like I say, the contractor, she tries. They want her to prepare them better. But if it was a smaller herd, I think it'd be more even for the contestants. But,
Yeah, I can see that. Well, what else? What else you want to talk about?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you want to talk results, or is there anything else behind the scenes we need to hit on?
I got to be careful.
Anything magical going on? Yeah.
I got to be careful. I could say plenty. You know that.
Listen, here's a story. I'll tell you a story. I try to go take a lot of pictures for social media for the NIRA page and for BullFrog Creatives. So I'll tell you a story. I'm not very comfortable. For those of you guys that are following on BullFrog Creatives, you probably know this. I'm a timey, so I am more comfortable in the timed event areas of the arena, which makes sense. I'm not very comfortable behind the chutes. I never have been. It's just not really the place for me. However, I know that as a rodeo fan, people want to see what's going on behind the scenes back there. So I stayed back there behind the scenes of the behind the chutes the entire night. And I decided to go live, which I don't go live during the rodeo very often because there's a lot of variables. Well, so I videoed a bareback rider.
The one changes his pants?
No.
Oh.
We didn't get anybody changing their pants this time.
Yeah, you did. The other day I seen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this time I didn't, though. The first time I did.
Oh, okay.
That's why. That's why I don't go live back there. So I figured I was safe because it was during the rodeo. Anyway, I go live and I watch this guy. Actually, I didn't see any of the ride because of where I was standing, but I think it was still a good video because people were screaming and you could tell something was going on. Well, unfortunately, apparently the nerves got to this guy because I also was live when he puked in the garbage can. I'm sure he's going to love me for that. Yes, he was puking. Kim, thank you. He was puking. And I saw it and then I panned away.
Was that the bareback rider?
Yeah.
After he rode?
Yeah. Apparently that's a thing. There's another guy.
When you hit your man parts on the bareback rig and handle.
Oh, I didn't
been a thing
think
for
about
him.
that.
I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I know the Sam Houston kid.
Yes.
Pretty sure. Yeah. He came out and everybody's trying to congratulate him. They're trying to talk to him.
He
crawled
didn't
up on
want
the gate
anything
and
to do with
climb
it.
over. And I think he might have gotten hit
I didn't think
where it
about
really
that.
hurts.
Listen, that's why though.
Because he went out the back door.
Immediately. He did make it to the garbage can. I think there were a couple of people that got some puke on their boots, which I was standing right there. I didn't.
I'm guessing that's what happened.
But yeah, okay. So that's about as real as you can get.
Maybe he didn't have very good lunch.
That's about as real as you can get. So that's the kind of behind the scenes stuff we want. I don't know. I don't know if that is
fun stuff I like talking about.
But so listen, I also learned in that conversation because I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was live. He was puking. But that's the behind the scenes stuff. So then I was talking to some other guys. One of them was from UW, but I don't know who it was. Oh no, it was Seth Glaus. So he was telling me that Garrett Uptain like dry heaves before he rides every time. So I think I think it's a combination of like nerves, but also,
I always had to pee. Like it'd be really close to, and I'm like,
oh, but then if you go, then you have to go again, and there's not time for that.
No, like I'm talking like 2 before me, and I have to go. Could you imagine being the Johnson boys last night?
I also went live for that. And I think listen, if you guys were watching on the Casper College Rodeo page, you couldn't really tell that the crowd was going crazy.
Oh, you couldn't hear it on there?
No, you couldn't hear it. But it was so loud
them boys,
here.
My younger boy, Jayden, ropes really well. And he says, I think I'd have had to ride up about 10 times.
Just to be like.
Because, I mean, everybody in the building probably knew the scenario anyhow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, probably know them, know they're good. They returning champions. And then you get the announcers, Andy and Boyd,
building you up,
and the music. What was they playing? I can't. Thunderstruck, I think, and you know, it was rocking. I mean, it got loud.
It did get loud, and it was a great crowd last night.
So, and then for the boys, for him to go out there and draw a knot on that steer, and I mean, he was that steer was not getting out of that head loop.
So let's talk about this. The Johnson boys on their second calf,
steer.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Steer. On their second steer, they did not safety up. So they have a little bit slower time on their second steer.
7-7.
Carson's horse kind of missed the corner and he had to kick up and get him. But that was really a businessman's run. And they're a half second out of leading the average. And had that small snafu on their second run.
Last night, the Yaquos were up too, as well. The Yaqua boys from the Central Plains region, and we're guessing. You know, I was guessing they were going to be a 4-7 because they took a no time.
Oh, so they were gunning for it.
But look what happened here. Their 12th team, they still made it in. They're 5-5. No time on their second one, and then they legged up last night. That steer come left, was trotting out, loping out of there. Come left, so LJ kind of had to hang off, you know, because he couldn't be real aggressive hazing. In my opinion, I don't claim to be a great team roper. It's hard for everybody to. I have a hard time getting anybody to enter with me and around Robin. So anyhow. So he was having to hang off. JC got him spun, and then he had to hustle to try to make something happen.
Yeah.
And he didn't have a very good delivery. He'll tell you that. But he roped a leg, stabbed a leg. But they're coming back 12.
Listen, so there's where are we at? So there's a couple of teams. It is. I don't want to say it's normal, but it can be normal for us to see two scores and a no score, a no time, make it back in the short go.
Yeah, there's legs. It's normal.
Yeah, there's a couple of breakouts, maybe some legs for sure. But
it'll still be good tonight. Them Moore brothers. I was talking to Sean Amstoy the other day from the coach from Horton, and he was telling me about them boys standing down there when they run their first one. And he said the older one rodeoed for him, then went on Sam Houston, and he has the younger one. And them boys have been impressive. They roped sharp, and so it'll be good. It'll be good again tonight. Good watching again tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
And even the third place team coming in, Kittle and Helton, you know, they're 5 seconds back almost. But
that's crazy.
Rodeo is a very humbling sport.
Indeed.
I'm not wishing any bad luck on anybody. I'm going to guess it'll be 1 or 2 be your champs. But
well, so let's talk about that. I assume that the Moore boys are also hitting the road for professional rodeos. That experience makes this pressure a little bit easier to handle. I mean, I still think that there's probably some nerves going on.
I'm gonna imagine there's kids that were competing last night who's never been in a crowd like that before.
This level of a performance.
But you know, with all the junior stuff that's come around, a lot of these kids, they go compete in Vegas all winter long now, or go to several big deals and pressure packed deals for good money. So it's different than it used to be.
Yeah.
When we went to Bozeman, you know, when I went competed both. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That was one of the bigger deals for me at the time. I had been to a few big pro rodeos. You know, I remember riding into the Coliseum at Topeka one night. It's pretty, you know, my hauling partner, he goes like, he says, don't look up. And I'm like, oh, golly, there's a lot of people in here, you know. But
yeah. And so if this is your first experience of that,
yeah,
you come out of that tunnel and see all the
pretty,
people, and you can
neat.
feel when you come out of that tunnel, you can feel the energy and the buzz. And
I remember when Court Shearer came here, was rodeoing for me, and his brother Cleet, his older brother, was my assistant coach, and just to see the look on Cleet's face when we walked in here for check-in. The stands are empty, but just to walk in and see the arena,
yeah,
you know, just the look on his face of wow. You know?
Well, and I think after the fact now, like as a coach and just walking in now, you can take that for granted.
Yeah.
You know, you walk in, same arena every year. We've seen this before, no big deal. But when you're a contestant and a student athlete walking into a venue like this, you don't rodeo in your regional rodeos with a crowd like this in a building like this in an arena setup. Like it's not the same.
Like I rodeo the year at K-State. It's not going to seat this. There might be this many people in there, but they don't have the seating for it.
Yeah.
But that's a
well, and I know like is it West Coast? They had their rodeo. Yeah, they had their rodeo in Cal Poly's a big rodeo, but also they had theirs in South Point, right?
Maybe.
Is that the right region?
Yeah.
That goes to Vegas?
The West Coast.
Yeah.
They did have it in the Thomas and Mack, I think, one time long ago. They had it in there. When I coached out there, well, I was at Coach East that one year, which was, that's when UNLV was in the Grand Canyon.
Gotcha.
But went up there twice a year, and they had it out there at that Rocking Key or whatever.
Oh, okay.
It was a neat facility. I think that was Michael's.
Well, and that's interesting too, like the difference in the arena setup at your regional rodeos versus this. We've kind of beat that dead horse, but there's some prep that could go into preparing, being ready for this type of a setup.
And I tell you, like for me, to come here, I've been furnishing the goats here. I don't know how long now, but for the last, it was pre-COVID before since I've had anybody here. So hopefully I can get some actual kids, not just goat kids, but hopefully I can get some athletes here next year. It's kind of, I enjoy coming up here, but I'd sure like it a lot better.
I'm slow.
I need to explain that to you.
Yeah, I may need to get a crayon.
But anyhow, I'm hopefully I'll have some contestants here again next year, but it's tough. It ain't easy.
No, it's not. It's not easy. And, Jim, Justin and I talked about that yesterday, that, obviously the goal of all of these students is to win a national championship, make the short go, but take nothing away from those students that didn't, we say make it, but that's really not the right term. Yeah. Once you get here and qualify here, you've made it. And quite frankly, you don't even have to get here to make it, because there's so many successes outside.
Well, that's what I've seen the deals on Facebook. Don't let it define you.
Yes.
Just like, was there 200 breakaway ropers in the Southwest region? And they take the top three, and then maybe if you're on a team, you get to come. But look at the quality of girls that didn't get to come. You know. And like looking at the tie down roping here, Kincaid Henry's coming back winning it. Trevor Hale, there's another big name. You've been hearing a bunch. Case Baquet, Macon Murphy, he won it last year, didn't he? Marty Berger, he's a very talented kid that my boys have had to compete against in Kansas.
Caleb Berquist made a run at it last year, and he didn't make it back this year.
Yeah. Where's Chance Thiessen? He was a no time on his first one. He won the third round, didn't he? The 7-3.
Opposite. Yep.
Yeah, he wins the third round. I mean, them boys are traveling professionally, going to some big rodeos, and so. And then just like right there, I mean, he could very well be at the NFR in the next year or two, and he misses one calf, but very talented field of calf ropers, tie down ropers coming back tonight.
Yes, for sure. All right, you guys, we're about halfway through our show. We're going to take just a quick commercial break. We will be right back.
Perfection almost looks easy. But it isn't. Here's to those who go the distance.
All right, we are back. We're back. Thank you guys for joining us. It is the CNFR CINCH Morning Show Championship Saturday. Let's do a little bit of housekeeping. If you guys are watching, I just learned that I can see where everybody's watching from. If you guys are watching right now on one channel, we are currently live streaming on 2 other channels. So we are live streaming on BullFrog Creatives, the official CNFR page, and the National Intercollegiate Rodeo Association page. I will encourage you, if you are not following one of them or all of them, please go do so. Each page kind of provides a little bit different content. So you're going to find some results and lots of stories on the official CNFR page. You're going to find kind of the 10,000 foot view of college rodeo on the NIRA page. And then we are going to be doing kind of behind the scenes stuff on BullFrog Creative. So, and I will say we're super close to breaking 2,000 mark on BullFrog Creatives.
Oh,
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Man.
Pretty cool.
that's just all my relatives.
Mine too. But they don't, you're not supposed to tell them that.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
We'll send payment out later.
And if we pass out, it's because there's not a fan or an air conditioner in the broom closet.
It is a closet.
I
It is
feel
a
like I'm in
closet.
an airplane head to the NFR.
Well, especially since we have to sit so close. We do the best we can.
No, it's great. It's great. The things that, as long as we're talking about it and getting it out there, talking about
Yes.
these kids.
All right. Well, let's just start with the bareback riding. We did not see a change. Man, we almost did. But we did not see a change in the leaderboard in the average. Cole Franks is still, he's at 236. Lane McGehee came in, rode his third one last night so he's at 234.5. So is that a big spread? I mean, I know like when you talk about goat tying or breakaway roping, they could be the same. They could be super close.
Oh, tonight's going to be the strongest. You know, the first round of bareback horses were just kind of okay. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think the second round they seemed to me like there's a lot of younger horses in there for them in them slacks. Then the third round they came back with some stronger horses. You can. It's interesting to see through the week. There's horses here that a lot of these kids aren't used to. You know, they've never been on a frontier horse.
Right. A little bit different.
For some reason, I think they can feed their horses better than I can, the horses I raise. Their 3-year-olds are a little bigger than my 3-year-olds, a little stronger. But, you know, Cole Franks, it's you know, they're going to bring in something run under him tonight. And he's been on the biggest show already. So he's going to have to, lightning's going to have to strike for him not to walk out here to the champion.
Right.
Lane and Tyler Griffin, Dean Thompson. And that's what's frustrating. I see some of these names down through here, and the kids that I tried recruiting, I'm like,
dang it.
I know how to pick them. I just can't get them. But there's several in there, which, you know, any coach that tries to get roughies, you know, it's hard to find them bareback riders or get them talked into coming. But yeah, it'll be good watching tonight. But there's dang sure some good bareback riders in there. But it's going to be hard to knock.
Well, and just for
this perch.
So we do have 13 guys. No,
Yeah.
13 guys coming back because
12.
we have a split in the 12th hole. So the difference in average score, we've got first at 236 points, and then 12th is 214.5. So the spread is not that much.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I mean, I think we talked about it earlier in the week. Is it a lot?
Yes. That's
See,
20 points.
that's the difference between the timed event end and
That's
this
a 20
end.
point. Look, can you do math? Like
Ish.
Cole's 236 points.
Okay.
On 3. Lane is second with 234. I'm not even going to try to figure the 236 because I go down here to the 12th place split is 214. So it's easy math. What's 214 off of the 234? That's 20 points, right?
Yeah.
You ain't gonna.
Somebody has to buck off.
You ain't gonna make up 20 points.
No.
Well, for a 12th place guy, 10 or 11 is gonna have to buck off.
I'm cheering for the underdog. Okay, I always have. Mainly because I have always been
he'll win
the
a check in
underdog.
the short go. But,
okay,
but
that's what we're going for.
Yeah, you're gonna have a hard time. You know, it's like I say, Cole's been on the big stage already. A lot of them, there's some very good, talented bareback riders. A lot of young guys in there, but yeah.
All right, thank you for teaching me math. It's
my cowboy math ain't even that good. I did.
You do the math.
And my grammar skills, I noticed on the outside of the building, I seen a sign that said something about call this number for assistance, but it was assistants, like my coaching assistant coach.
Oh, yeah.
But it was like
Assistant.
handicap assistants.
Yeah.
They had trouble with that, but sorry.
It happens.
I hope nobody from the event center is watching. Tie down roping. See there, I knew I couldn't get through a show without putting my foot in my mouth.
Clearly, we were both doing really good at that today.
You know, the tie down roping's a little tighter. You know, there's kind of 2 or 3 seconds, you know, to play with in there in the top 6 or 7. So there's a lot of talent in there, and we'll see what happens. But like I say, Kincaid, he's been on some pretty big stages. You know, we've seen him on TV a bunch, and Trevor, he's been on some big stages.
You say that, but let's talk about why that is important. I think we have a couple of times before, but if you've been in a bigger arena or at some bigger shows, then your nerves, either you can control them a little better or you just have a little bit more experience and you know what's coming.
Yeah.
You might be as nervous, but you at least know what's coming.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys, they're to the point where the competition isn't the issue. You know, for me, it became a point when I felt like I was pretty handy.
Mm-hmm.
I had an air about me, and you need to have a little bit of cockiness, you know, in any event. I think my worst trouble for me at times was when I drew a goodie.
Yeah,
that's when I got the most nervous. No, I got nervous.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you don't want to screw up the poodle. That's when I think I'd rather have the worst one in the pen almost, because then it's like, well, I'll just go do what I can.
Because there's no expectation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, that was when I struggled the most. Maybe was when I draw old goodies. So the breakaway open, that's been interesting this week because them calves have been bigger. I don't have y'all discussed that at all. Them are bigger, older calves than what you're used to seeing here in the breakaway open. You know, most years they're they're fresher. I remember when they've had jackpots on them here before the start. But them calves are older and bigger, and that kind of changed. The girls had to really score sharp, had to score sharper than normal, I think, and not panic. It's hard for a calf that doesn't break. It's hard for a lot of girls to sit there and score sharp and then come across the line and still slow down, get up and get your tip down and get one roped.
Yeah.
And I've seen some girls just kind of launch it out there and rope them good, but it's been interesting. There's some very talented girls coming back tonight. You know, it's still kind of anybody's game there in the top 5 probably. So we'll see what happens. Who knows? There you'll see some lopers and you'll see some runners, I think, because I think they have y'all discussed the animals they bring back, how they bring back.
No.
I think how they do it is the 12 girls that are back
bring their fastest.
No, the calves that you competed on will come back, are in the draw. So there could potentially be 36 head of calves. We're going back to math here, okay? What is 3 times 12? 36, right?
Gotcha.
Okay, so there potentially could be 36 head of calves in the draw to draw at.
So every girl brings three calves.
Yeah,
and then
possibly.
they
Now
draw from that.
Now, Brian and Allie could have both
Rope
had
the
the
same
same
calf.
calf. So you might not
Gotcha.
have 36, but potentially.
You could.
Now, so what the deal is, and they do that because, say, this Blair down here, say she got by a bad one,
Mhm.
well, now everybody else has
Has a
to
chance
draw at him.
to draw at it.
So
Gotcha. That makes sense.
that's how the time event draw is done anyhow. The rough stock is pretty much Kirsten just talks to her subcontractors
And they put pins
and
together.
they kind of put together the TV
Like
pin.
Equal level. I mean, do they try to kind of match
they're going to be pretty bucky. I'm not going to say they're going to be equal because you could have a strong one down the pin, or you could have a showy, like in the barrack riding. You could have, and I'm pretty sure gunfire probably in here, but you could have a strong straightaway bucker, or you could have one pretty showy. It could vary, but they're going to be the ones that are generally, getting TV time.
So there's already a set pin.
Yeah.
Nobody brings
that was
anything
set
back.
before we ever started.
So we don't ever
I'm
see.
going to guess the barebacks and broncs. You could see some bulls back, I think,
That's what I was
because the bull
wondering.
deal is a little bit different. But them horses, I'm going to guess the horses you see tonight probably
they haven't bucked
been
all
out.
week.
There could be one or two, maybe.
Gotcha.
But
All right. Well,
the bronc riding.
McNeese State 1 and 2.
Yeah, how about that?
You recognize that's what you're rumbling, huh?
Yeah, well, there again, I just looked down through there and some of the kids that I talked to, trying to recruit them, but there's some dang sure some good talent in there. And kudos to Justin, and I know Rump talked about that on that show because he rode broncs, and I rode broncs too. Everybody, I was the tri-state champion 1990.
Attaboy.
By golly, in high school.
So when did you stop riding broncs and just stick with steer wrestling?
In college, my first year of college. When I think I went to the first few college rodeos, entering the bronc riding and bulldogging, and there was way too many guys that rode way better than me.
Yeah.
Now, really, I think, and this is just my opinion. Haters hate me if you want, but I think if I was riding now, I wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
But back then, there's a lot of good bronc riders in the Central Plains region. So I told my coach, I said, hey, I think for our rodeo, I'm just going to bulldog. He's like, that's all right. I recruited you. That's what I recruited you for. It wasn't the bronc riding. I could get them rode. I just couldn't spur them like them other guys. But the list is endless. Brett Franks was one of them.
Yeah.
We ended up going to school together at Panhandle. I started at junior college at Murray State and then went to Panhandle.
Okay, and then Brett Franks is here.
Yeah, and here's a fun fact. There are 3 coaches here coaching that were on the 1994 3 and 4, maybe. I can't remember for sure. But me and Brett and Jet Johnson were on the team. We're on Panhandle State team together. And we were reserve national champions.
How about that? That's pretty cool.
So,
that's really cool. So now I forgot what I was going to say. It was so cool. I forgot what I was going to say.
I don't know, but yeah, we had a lot of fun. And Brett doesn't. Here's a insight that Brett won't tell. Cole told me the other night. Cole Franks. He says, "Dad don't tell me very many stories," so I had to tell him a few. I didn't. I need to go find him and tell him some.
Tell him all of them.
Ask your dad about us almost getting kicked out of the CNFR. But anyhow.
I don't think he'll tell him. So Brett actually is in the arena. He's on the production team. Shoot boss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's the shoot boss. He's Ben Londo's, who was on, I was going to say Thursday morning with CJ. He's on his kind of production team. So it all comes full circle.
But it's that says a lot for Doc Gardner. There's some other coaches here that went through the Panhandle State program, but me and Brett and Jet were all lucky enough to
Be on
just
that
be
team.
mentored
Yeah,
under Dr. Lynn Gardner from Panhandle.
that's
And
cool.
I've said it before, Jalen, my older boy, Jalen Jesse, the Lynn and Jalen is in honor of Lynn Gardner, Richard Lynn Gardner, Doc Gardner. So.
That's cool.
So anyhow, that's
You
how
heard it
much.
here first.
That's how much influence, good or bad, that some of us might have on some of these kids. Anyhow, the bronc
Steer wrestling.
riding.
Oh, bronc riding.
I gotta mention.
You got to mention somebody.
Yeah, Weston Patterson. Dang it, bucked off last night. He was a Kansas kid that good kid. We're sure pulling for. Where's he? He's finishing 16th. Rides darn good. What was he, second or third here last year, I believe. So he's not going to be there tonight. So dadgummit.
Do you know who won the Saddle Bronc last year?
Cash. Did he win it? Cash Wilson?
I don't.
I think Cash Wilson might have won it last year. But anyhow, there's some good ones.
So he's there.
There's some good ones that I tried recruiting in there.
This is a bittersweet day.
Let's see. Bulldogging. Golly, that Walt Arnold, he's talented.
He's consistent this week.
Leading it. So
4-2, 4-2, 4-8. 13-2 on 3.
There's a lot of good bulldoggers in there. Most of these guys have already been going to some good pro rodeos. That new horse of Mason Couches is a nice horse. I'll give him that for sure.
Now, I know at the PRCA level, we see a lot of horse sharing. Do we see that here as much?
Yeah, there'll be quite a bit. The Hazers struggled last night, I seen. A lot of the steers were beating them to that outgate over there on the right. So they were struggling, but no, it'll be good. It'll be good watching tonight because a lot of good steers will be brought back. And
now it's the same.
Yeah, same deal. They'll be drawing it, whatever brought back. So Miles Neighbors just out of it, very talented bulldogger there. So that's that's the thing. There's guys down here clear down.
In every event
that you could see at the NFR next year. It's rodeos is such a humbling sport.
So true. So true.
We probably talked about the goat time enough, but
we probably did.
But it'll be good watching.
Well, let's talk about
12th place was 20. It took a 20 to come back on 3. 18.6. So that's a second and 4/10 is all that's separating it. So back to math a little bit. That's
but
not
this
much.
timed events, I'm good on this side.
I mean, it is anybody's deal there. I mean,
Well, and let's talk about this. It's a lot of ladies had not good luck this week. I mean, I'll say Paige Rasmussen. I think she was on some people's radar. She gave it a go. Her goat got up in the short go last year. Is that right?
Yes. Don't remind me of that. I about cried.
You blame
the other day.
Do you take some?
I told her the other day when she made that good run.
Second go.
The second go.
Yep. She was a 6 flat.
She won that round. And she came out and I said, good job. She goes, thanks, good goats. And I said, I still feel bad about last year. And I almost got a tear in my eye. That's how much.
Yeah, okay.
That's how much it means. I mean,
you take pride in that.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even have thought about that. I wouldn't have thought about blaming the goat contractor from a goat getting up.
And then, and so that's what y'all can think I'm crazy if you want. I don't care. My wife tells me I'm anal. I did do things a little different this year. And years past, I didn't bring them in until maybe the bronc riding.
Yeah.
Like I'd go sit down, watch the rodeo. I'd get here and I'd sort them in the trailer, get the pin that I need in the trailer ready. I'd come in, get the actual draw, and watch a few events, and then I'd go out and get them, bring them in. This year, I did things different. I brought them in before the opening.
Yeah.
I have them over there. I want them to get used to the sound. When that goat got up on Paige last year, she put a good tie on it, but when the crowd roared, it got loud.
Yes.
He just,
what the,
Yeah. So I brought him in earlier this year to get them used to the sound and everything. And
Well, and even if they had been tied earlier in the week, which had they? How many times will your goats get tied?
Yeah, they get every go round. They'll go 3 runs every go round.
Okay. So
pretty much the first 2 go
but if
rounds,
they're
for
not,
sure.
if they haven't been in that crowd in that evening performance to hear that, then I could see that scaring the
Well, just they weren't too used to it. The slacks are quiet,
Yeah.
and they're kind of but it's way different than the actual performances. So
Well, I would just say there's a lot of, man, goat tying is tough, especially at this level. It's our last, like this is the NFR for the goat tying. This is the top for these ladies. So I will give a shout out to Emily Knutz, who rounded out her college rodeo season in 18. And listen, there is no shame in that. It's still pretty amazing. Even if you don't make it back to the short go, you guys, you still placed this number 18 in the nation. Like,
and the Central Plains, we don't even have any goat tires in the short go.
dang.
And they've tied my goats all year long.
Yeah.
Well, 7. I furnished them at like 7 of the 10 region rodeos, and so they're used to my kind of goats, them dairy goats, and there's a lot of talented girls in there. But
I'm not sure that there's any Central Rocky Mountain either.
Things just didn't happen. The West Coast, it looks like the West Coast and the Southern region,
Yeah.
kind of in Southwest. That's saying something for 2 Cal Poly girls and 2 Weatherford girls. Cody Haas, tried recruiting her. Let's see. I'll just go down through
Just
here.
count.
I can. Yeah.
You should be able to recruit
Maddie,
some goat
Cody,
tires.
Caitlin.
Maybe we need to
Lacey.
talk about your recruitment plan.
I'm probably gonna have to. I was gonna say. Anyhow, I'm gonna have to move to Texas. I did. So I do want to wish Cody luck, because even though I'm still mad at her, we had a foot race at a Little Britches rodeo several years ago. We had a foot race in the arena during the rodeo, and she barely beat me. I should have tripped her up, but
yeah, you should have.
So I'm still a little bitter at her, and she beat me in a foot race and still didn't come to school for me. That was part of the deal. If I beat her, she had to come to school for me.
Oh,
so she outrated me.
I think maybe you should change your wager a little bit.
I thought he was going to say change my weight.
I would not say that.
That would help me in a foot race.
And I think that would help you.
No, the barrel racing. Hey, we got some Central Plains girls there. Sadie Walliver coming back leading it. She's a Central Plains girl, and then McKenna. So
I'm still kind of surprised that we have not seen sub 14 yet.
Yeah, I haven't just really paid attention to the barrel racing, because I take the goats out after the goat time, so then I'm out there and I go ahead and sort one of my pens in the trailer, so it's easier when I get to the fairgrounds to dump them out in the dark. I don't have to have my headlamp on quite as long, but so I come back in and they're barrel racing. So I've watched a little bit.
What's your take on the ground holding
Is
up?
this guy really watching right here?
No, that's crap. Here, I'll share it with everyone.
Kick him off.
I can't.
Why not?
Yay. Listen, if anybody posts a link, don't click on it.
Does he understand what I'm saying?
No, I'm pretty sure it's a computer.
Oh, it's just a computer.
Yeah, it's just somebody's spam.
So he won't be offended if I talk about
No, he will not.
Okay. Anyhow, I don't know is there enough moisture in it?
So I don't know. And I have overheard the production team. I know Brent Kruth has been on it. They did not put water in it last night, but they are watching the moisture content. Yeah. And I do feel like in the earlier rounds, the weather was crappy Tuesday. Yeah, it was Tuesday, because I didn't do any parking lot ambush interviews because the wind was blowing. But we talked about it. The wind comes up. Oh, you can't see. The wind comes up in the tunnel, which is right over there. But it was coming all the way in, and it was really, really strong. So I know, like Tuesday, Wednesday, they did put a lot of water on it because it dried out so much from the wind. So maybe that has something to do with it. They did not water it last night.
At San Antonio a few years ago, was watching on TV, and some horses were stumbling, whatnot, and having trouble. And they shut it down. I think they ran about 3 or 4 girls.
Really?
And the performance had stopped. It was dangerous. It was bad. Like if you're watching on TV, like, oh my gosh, go get your helmet. And so they're trying to figure out, well, there's a vent, a heater, or whatever.
Oh,
That was when it maybe got so cold down there, whatever.
Mhm.
Or I don't know if they had, I don't know, something. The air was
something
blowing,
was blowing on it.
and it messed up that one spot. And so they had to kind of.
Yeah, so that's something that I don't know that you would not think about,
You-
especially just as an
you-
average Joe Schmo
Yeah.
rodeo attendee. You don't think about
Most
the
people,
dirt at
most
all.
people say we need to go inside so it stays consistent,
Yeah,
but there's still
it's
variables.
so much harder.
There's still variables. You might have, the system
Mhm.
blowing on it. I mean, you still got to watch your.
Well, so I did watch. No, I did not watch the barrel racing last night. I watched the night before, and I think 1 and 2 out, both slipped coming around that third barrel.
It looks like that's what I was going to say. It looks like they're
Coming in,
They're not.
coming in, not coming
Yeah.
out.
I don't. Some people might say it's shifty, but they're not slipping. But it's not whole like they're sliding around that third
Mhm.
barrel.
Yeah. So tonight may be a little different. We're going to see a hand rake after every girl tonight.
Yeah.
But listen, I don't know that it
I-
helped because the girl after the rake on Thursday.
Yeah. If it were me, maybe, and I like I say, I haven't even
Mhm.
walked across the whole arena. I'd have to walk up there and dig my, scoop my foot around in there. And that's my moisture tester. But personally, what I would maybe do is water it pretty good and try to rip it a little bit more
Yeah.
than what it's been getting ripped, and then fluff it back up.
Yeah.
Ready for tonight. But there's
And
other guys that-
maybe they will. I'm
Yeah,
not sure what the plan is.
There's other guys that have
Mhm.
babied it. That's not my area to worry about, and I don't take this wrong. I mean,
Well,
I
and
don't want
here's the
anybody
deal.
thinking Jimbo went on the show and was.
Everybody has a job.
Yeah.
And everybody does their job. That's how we put the show on. But no, I don't think we're ripping anybody. It's a conversation about.
Well, it's always the ground.
It's always going to be a
like to talk
conversation.
about the ground.
We do. We should bring barrel racers.
But you could see the difference when I walked in the other day when I got here. You could see the difference, the sand they added.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, it's certainly better. I feel like.
yeah. I don't. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Lots of good barrel racing, and I do know something about barrel racing.
Do you?
Yeah, I did. I let a girl in at the CNFR there a few years ago.
Oh, that's right. You're a really good barrel racing coach.
Yeah. Heck
You know how to pump somebody up. I'm gonna need a Jim Boy hash to pump me up. See what I did there?
Yeah. And just looking at the horsepower that didn't make it back there again, it's such a tough event.
Well, we've talked about it all week. This arena for barrel racing, team roping, and goat tires is just a little bit different setup.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
I'm sure they'd like it better if they could run out, but
Yeah, we don't quite have the room for that.
team roping, we kind of talked about that. But yeah, it should be your national champ should be one of the top 2 teams. It's their deal to lose. So
Yes.
might come down.
This
to
will
the
be fun
draw
watching.
to see. So, the hometown boys. Can you imagine how loud it's going to get tonight?
Yeah, man, it was loud
When they
last night.
go.
It's going to get crazy in here tonight. I'm probably going to be one of those crazies.
And if that header is pretty funny, is Kellen the header? Yeah. If he makes a run like he did last night and wins, he'll be really pumped. He was pumped up pretty good last night.
He was pretty good last night.
It's pretty
Listen,
funny to watch
that's
him.
fun. That and watching the students' reactions. I mean,
Yeah.
it's also a difficult night because you see the students' reactions of being that close and not winning it. But that's what I don't know. That's the fun part, the emotion and the so much excitement.
To watch Kellen be so pumped up and then Carson just
walk out. I know, because I was videoing him and I'm like, oh, then I'll pan back to Carson and he's just like, another day at work.
Jet's back there just as nervous.
Freaking out.
He's more nervous than they are.
Yes, indeed. I would be too. I get that.
Oh,
All right,
bull
bull
riding.
riding. We have nobody making it back on 3, which is not uncommon, right?
Yeah. It's y'all were talking the other day. Did y'all figure it out who was the last straddle?
No.
It was Joe Frost.
Oh, okay. So he rode 4.
Yeah.
When was that?
Oh, I don't know.
Because CJ remembered somebody one in 15 years. And then Justin said
He was saying
somebody in 2000.
Yeah, 2004. Corey Navarre. That's who Justin
Okay.
was saying. But I'm pretty sure Joe Frost rode all 4.
Okay.
But Tristan, it was funny the other night I was watching him.
Look at this. So CJ was down there. He's our timed event guy. Jet was pretty pumped. I saw him kind of come back up the tunnel. That's a lot.
Jet, the psychology major.
Yes. I feel like that would
Do you
be
want
helpful.
a Jet story real quick?
Yeah.
So when was it Panhandle?
Yes, I would love a Jet story.
So there was a kid on the team. His girlfriend dumped him, and
It happens.
So he's kind of sad, and we're sitting around visiting one night, and Jet was a psychology major, and he goes, "Kid, what do you think you should do?" And Jet says, "I'd just shoot yourself." This is way back before.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
So that's just.
And I'm sure the guy was like, "Shut up."
I just did it. But we had fun back then. But yeah, Tristan the other night before he got on, my younger boy Jayden, he's like, "This bull is fixing to get punished."
Punished.
Yeah.
Hey, look we've got somebody else. It was a typo. Aaron Williams in 96.
That's 76.
I know, but then he says here 96.
96.
Fat fingered it. So he won. He rode all 4, I assume, because that's what we were talking about.
In 96?
In 96.
That would have been 3 head.
Oh, okay.
That would have been 2 and a short.
2 and a short. History of the
Still,
CNFR. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's 2 and a short.
When did that change?
It became 3 and a short here.
In Casper?
Yeah.
So 98.
Yeah, I don't know when the first year here.
98. Do you know how I know?
Was you here? I know.
I was a volunteer that year. That was my freshman year.
I graduated in 95.
I think
that was maybe the last year in Bozeman in 95. Like we went to Rapid 96, 97.
Huh. What's the thinking behind that change?
What?
2 and a short to 3 and a short.
They changed.
That kind of changes the whole rodeo.
I'm getting old. I did much better because when I went, it was a drawing contest. Like now, like you said, the team rope and the bull, you could maybe come back with a barrier. Back then, nope. You better be good on 2.
Well, it changes it. He said CJ said Rapid City was 3 and a short.
Okay.
So, but it was in Rapid 1 year, right? Because we were here 1 year, went to Rapid for a year, came back to Casper. Because I think there was a scheduling conflict. No, it was in Rapid for a while.
It went to Rapid from Bozeman.
But it went away 1 year and then came back. Right?
No, I don't think so. I think when it came here, it's been here. Now I was at the fairgrounds.
Yeah, that's when I made it in the barrel racing. That was run in, run out.
Part of it was the change was when we changed the team. Let me think. Used to, so they wanted to get it to 3 and a short. So used to, if you had 1 point throughout the year, you got to bring them events. If you're on a team, say a bareback,
just one point.
Well, Mark Gomes. Well, that's a bad example because he can team rope. But say a bareback rider that rode really good, team roped as well. You win the region, the bareback riding, and they use you on the team. Your team makes it. You got 5 points in the team rope, and you got to bring the team rope. As long as you had 1 point, you could bring whatever you qualified in. So they wanted to get it to 3 and a short to give them a better opportunity of making the short go. So they had to figure out a different way of qualifying. And so that's when we took the buys, and it used to be they took the top 2 individuals.
Yeah, that's how it was when I was there.
And now it's and then they changed the top 3 individuals, and then to get on the team, you had to be a buy to take that event, or the top 5 or 30% of point getters.
There you go. History of the CNFR right here.
So there you go. What CJ say was in Rapid?
2 years in Rapid, 97 and 98. So am I just losing my mind that it didn't go somewhere else for 1 year and then come back? Because, well, it's possible.
Yeah. But that's, I remember going to Rapid.
So I do remember it going to Rapid because there was a gal from Casper College, Heidi Knapp, I believe. I think that's when she won the region, Central Rocky Mountain region, and then also did really well at nationals that year. I don't know how well, but she did well. So I do remember it being in Rapid for a little while.
Yeah.
right.
I went, that's when I coached at Coach East that one year with Greg Koenig. And that's where I had my honeymoon.
Oh, yay. I bet she
90
was happy.
In 97, she understands my cheapness. We let the school pay for my honeymoon, but
it's a great idea.
yeah. But yeah, somebody said Bozeman was 96, Rapid 97, 98.
Oh, look at right on. Perfect.
I was there in the bronc riding.
Awesome. Thanks, Damon. Okay, bull riding. Tristan.
He's got to get it done again. I mean, there's a chance for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys.
Yeah. So 5 guys have 2 covered, and 3 have 1. So we're not even bringing. Will we bring back?
I hadn't even seen that yet.
Will we bring?
I wouldn't think.
Will we bring back other people?
So we're not even going
to get 12.
There's 8 that got at least 1 road.
Yes.
So that might be a first. That we're not filling the short go.
Yeah.
CJ,
where you at?
that's something. I don't know. You know, I tried recruiting a very talented kid out of Kansas, and he got drafted for the PBR. So I'm a little bit.
We've talked about that all week. That's a really hard.
I'm a little bit upset with.
That's a really hard pull.
Which, you know, there's so much opportunity for these kids. You know, way more opportunity than we had in our day. And but yeah, the bull riders, it's.
Well, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, I can't blame them. You know, if you're that good and want to go do it.
Okay, now wait a second. You have to be recruited to ride in PBR?
No.
Or like invited?
Well, it's a new little marketing deal they're doing this fall.
Oh.
I think they're having like 6 or 8 events, and they came
like
up
an invite only kind of thing. Oh, I think I've heard about that.
Yeah. CG says they should ride 4 or 5 tonight, but I'm going to assume we're not drawing back for the crowd.
No, he said 8.
We'll buck 8, and yeah. So at some of our region rodeos, we'll draw back just to, you know, if we only get 3 road, like all of ours are long and short.
So only 3 guys covered in the third go.
And they'll be bringing the heat tonight, I assume. So, which I don't know how they do it, if they try to get the even ones but.
All right, that's every event. Anything else?
I always saw a wreck yesterday, but.
Hey, so here's a story: a car wreck.
Yeah, well, not a bad deal. The guy wasn't paying attention to pick up a little car trailer in front of me. A dude was trying to, but I don't know if he couldn't see over the cab of his pickup. He had such a we're at a red light. And I guess he thought he could. I guess he thought he could go between me and that pickup and get across. It was kind of out there by the mall, and he hit that little car trailer. I scooted over.
Was it a team roper?
No, well, I don't know. We left. I'm like, I'm kind of in a hurry. I'm not going to sit here and wait.
So I got pulled over yesterday. It's not funny. It is funny. I wasn't speeding. I got a new little car that gets 23 miles a gallon. It's pretty magical. It's like a 2003 beater. Anyway, I haven't put plates on it yet, but I have 45 days. So that's why I got pulled over.
You have the paper tag?
Oh yeah. No, but I got my bill of sale. I was good. I didn't get a ticket, but it was one of the police officers that was in the opening the night before. So we had a really great conversation about the CNFR.
You don't have a 30-day tag on or
45, yeah. No, you can drive on the bill of sale here for 45 days.
No tag of any kind?
Yeah.
Well, I've seen they drive 4-wheelers around here and whatever.
PSA, you can drive on the bill of sale here if it's notarized. There you go. 45 days. You have 45 days. If it's notarized, you can drive on the bill of sale. Anyway, he told me that there was a little accident and the guy didn't have his thumb. And so he wanted to know if that was normal. And he was wearing some shirt that made a joke about not having a thumb or something. So the police officer was asking me, how does that happen and why? Anyway, it was a teaching moment. And I didn't get a ticket. There you go. That's my story. That's all. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. It's been a great week. I would say if you are watching from afar, you can tune in to BullFrog Creatives, the NIRA page, or the official CNFR page for behind the scenes stuff. But listen, you can also live stream the event, tonight's event. It's an arena feed, so it's a little bit different, but you're going to get all the action. You do have to have a cable TV provider or a subscription, but you can download the ESPN app and watch it tonight. There is a little bit of a delay, I heard, but otherwise pretty good. That's what I heard.
Well, it's got to be way better than when we were in Bozeman.
Well, yeah, there wasn't anything, was there? Live stream didn't exist then.
It would come out on TV later.
Oh. This will come out on TV later.
I do remember cell phones at Bozeman. Cell phones were just coming out, and so they had a provider up there, and they'd have, I don't know, 5, 6, 10, 12, I don't know, in a little area behind the bucket chutes, and you could pull the antenna out, unfold it, whatever, and pull the antenna out, and walk outside. I mean, and call home for free. They let us. Oh. And they gave the directors a cell phone, because I remember when we was running cattle through, Al Misek was the faculty director, Big Al. You remember him?
I don't think so.
I mean, he was as white as me. He was from North Dakota State, maybe, I think. But we're running cattle through it, and so they gave all the faculty directors a phone. I don't guess they trusted the student directors because I didn't have one. But or maybe that was my first year. Maybe, anyhow, I broke his phone. I broke the antenna off of it.
And that's why the students didn't get phones.
Accidentally. But yeah, that was
that was new technology.
That was like 93. That was the first year I went, and I could go borrow a cell phone and call home.
That is pretty cool.
I remember I rode up there with Marilee McGraw. She won the world in the barrel racing, and on the way home, her horse pulled a shoe in the short go, and she was calling home, was on the way and had a bag phone in the pickup.
Oh, I remember those.
Marilee was pretty well to do because she had a bag phone.
Yeah.
I still had a CB. So.
A pager?
Somebody had a pager in Vegas the other day.
I remember you talking about that. All right. We better wrap this up because it could go downhill in a hurry from here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're super grateful for CINCH jeans and shirts, and I'll also give a shout out to some of our telecast sponsors because we are very grateful for them. Platinum Performance, Autolite Spark Plugs, Visit Casper, the Division of Tourism of the state of Wyoming, and the PRCA, Professional Rodeo Association. Some of our national sponsors, sorry, I don't have them memorized. Ram Trucks, Cactus Ropes, Cactus Saddlery, Helomatic, Cactus Gear, Resist All Hats, Powder River Livestock, and Maynard Buckles, Powder River Livestock Handling Equipment. So there's no confusion. We're super thankful for all the sponsors that we have that help us put this rodeo on and help the regional rodeos get put together too. So, and
a shameless plug for Garden City Community College because Ronk got one in for Northwestern.
He got a lot of plugs in. He was real smooth about that. Yeah. There you go. Garden City.
From Garden City, our motto is from here you can go anywhere. But we have Trevor Meyer who rodeoed for us and then went to Panhandle. Now he's coming back. So our new motto is from here you can go anywhere and then come back.
Yeah. So and back. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. Stay tuned tonight. Stay tuned tonight. We'll have some live stuff going on. And we also will be doing some coverage of the special kids rodeo and the NIRA Foundation style show. You guys have a wonderful day, and we will see you here next year. And hopefully we'll see some of you for the NFR Hangover show in December. See you guys.
Perfection almost looks easy. but it isn't. Here's to those who go the distance.